Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. Mr. The Pirate, thank you for gifting 5 memberships before we even started. You're awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Just wanted to make sure I addressed that because it's not going to pop up on the screen. You're awesome, buddy. Thank you so much. Mr. Nick, good to see you. We have Overboard Tech in the chat. John Germain, what's up, buddy? Good morning. We have Crypto 440, Dumpster Fire. Let's see. AC Mining, Rud Puts, my man. Happy Friday. Actually, did you send me a meme today? I didn't even look. Gotta check. Every Friday, my man Rud Puts. Oh, wow. It did work. Apparently, it is going to pop up on stream. Every Friday, my man Rud Puts sends me something saying Happy Friday. Mr. Ted became a member. Appreciate you, buddy. Congratulations from Mr. The Pirate. I didn't know it was going to pop up. Amazing. Magic Lucky. Who else got it? Who did I miss that it already said? Let's see. Overboard Tech, I think. Diesel. There we go. Nice. The Pirate again. Thank you so much for all this. You're awesome. You didn't have to do any of that. All right, guys. So let's see. What are we looking like today for Bitcoin? Everybody else that I may have missed in the chat, good morning and happy Friday. All right, Bitcoin 31,000. Oh, wow. We're over 31. That's the first time I'm seeing this. Awesome. Nice. Hopefully it holds. I wonder if it will. Ethereum's almost 1,900 bucks. What is going on with LTC? Wow, I'm happy I put on the L7 yesterday. Damn. That's awesome. Hell yeah. $102. It's over 100 bucks. This thing was at like 79 2 days ago. Or like 3 days ago. That's crazy. Dogecoin, 6.5 cents. XRP, 48 cents. Man, talk about a good Friday. Interesting. Jump in his vampire chair. You don't like that? Oh, you don't like this chair? It's just a pillow. Take this pillow off. I don't even lean back on the thing. Man, that's crazy. I didn't expect it to be that nice looking today, to be honest. The charts. Or Coin 360 rather. BCH up 116%. What the F? Does anybody have news on BCH? What is going on with Bitcoin Cash and why is it pumping so hard? I feel like I already asked this and I don't know if anybody ever gave me an answer, to be honest. We have the FTT token, which is 84%. And this right here is actually probably because the rebranding or they're trying to reopen it, right? So that's what I'm guessing on that aspect, but I don't agree with any of that. This is on the week, by the way. The daily BCH is up 28%, FTT 27%. This is crazy. What the hell is XEC? XEC eCash? Never even heard of it. Never heard of it. ETC is up 23%. Is it really? ETC. Oh, right here. Didn't even see it. So on the day, it's 13.8. On the week, it's 23.1. Yeah, damn. Nice. What's it at, actually? ETC down here. Oh, wow. It got to the 20s. 20 bucks. Not too bad. Not too bad. Man. All right, let's look at the Fear and Greed Index. Try not to blind you guys. Let's see, 56 in the greed territory. And it's still kind of neutral. Don't even worry about it. Top 10 coins by coin market cap. Let's check those out. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, USD Coin, XRP. We have Lido Staked Ether, Cardano, Dogecoin, and Solana. And look at this, Litecoin's in 11th place. Dude, Litecoin might pop into the top 10. Wow, that's getting really close. Look at this. Hold on, where are we at? How close? How close is it? It's about 100 million off. That's pretty close though. That's really close. Wow. Can you imagine that flip Solana? That'd be pretty cool. I'm excited. I'm very excited about LTC right now. LTC, to be honest, I think is a sleeping giant. That's just my opinion. All right, let's see. Crypto 440 said the EDX exchange is what they say pumped BCH. Interesting. Well, I mean, it's quite significant. Like that's a quite significant pump on the week. 116%. That's freaking unreal. Absolutely unreal. Anyways, all right, let's get into some news today. So this is Crypto World again. They put out a video every single day kind of recapping the crypto market or the space, right? Whatever's going on. So Fidelity actually applied for an ETF just like BlackRock did as of yesterday. So this was a video right after they must have submitted their stuff. So we're gonna watch this, see what they have to say. And they talked to somebody, I don't even know his name, to be honest, but he kind of gives a little bit insight, I guess, towards the end. So If you guys have any questions, please feel free at me in the chat. If you guys want to talk about anything, we can pause and elaborate during it. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it.
Today, Fidelity joins the rush to launch a spot Bitcoin ETF. Coinbase slams the SEC once again, claiming the agency has no authority over the tokens on its exchange. And Rich Rines, a contributor at CoreDAO, breaks down the impact of institutional interest in crypto on the Bitcoin network.
Real quick, has anybody else watched, or have you guys watched the Walking Dead? His name's Rich Rines. I thought it said Rick Grimes when I first actually listened to this. This is hysterical.
On the Bitcoin network. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Mackenzie Sigalos. The digital currency market is holding steady this morning, with Bitcoin trading at around $30,400 and Ether hovering at about $1,850.
Again, that's a little bit lower than it is
Solana
now.
jumped by more than 8%. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. First up, Binance is losing a banking partner in Europe. PaySafe Payment Solutions, which handles customers' bank transfers in the region, said that it will wind down its partnership with the crypto exchange on September 25th. Now, Binance spokesperson told us that after that date, customers will have to update their banking details and accept new terms, but that for right now, services on Binance.com are not affected. At the same time, Germany's finance regulator reportedly denied Binance a crypto custody license. That's according to German news outlet Finance Forward. A Binance spokesperson told us that regulatory talks in Germany are an ongoing process, and the exchange will continue its work to meet the regulator's requirements. Next up, Coinbase just filed a response to the SEC's lawsuit claiming the exchange lists unregistered securities.
This was kind of a big deal yesterday, actually.
In the statement, Coinbase sought the dismissal of the lawsuit, and it argued that the SEC has no authority over the assets trading on its secondary markets platform because they're not, quote, investment contracts and therefore not securities. The exchange also says the tokens on its platform don't meet the Howey test, the standard used to determine whether assets are securities, because the value of those tokens comes from trading them, not the issuers and businesses that made them. Coinbase also says issuers don't owe any obligations to investors on Coinbase's secondary markets. Last, Fidelity is joining the rush of companies trying to launch a spot Bitcoin ETF. The asset management giant just filed the proposal with the SEC on Thursday, and it comes about 2 weeks after BlackRock filed its own proposal for a spot Bitcoin fund. WisdomTree, VanEck, and Invesco followed suit and sent over their own proposals in the days after. The SEC has been skeptical of a spot Bitcoin ETF, including from Fidelity. It rejected a previous proposal from the investment firm, citing concerns of market manipulation. All right, on to our main story. We've seen a wave of institutions showing signs of confidence in crypto, with several financial giants filing for spot Bitcoin ETFs this month.
Which is a good
Crypto
thing.
World's Talia Kaplan spoke with Rich Rines, a contributor at CoreDAO, a new layer 1 blockchain powered by Bitcoin, to find out what the developments mean for the Bitcoin network.
In a sign that investors are growing bullish about the prospect of major institutional names getting involved in crypto, the price of Bitcoin jumped above $30,000 and even crossed the $31,000 level recently. Now, the move higher follows a series of applications from traditional financial firms, including BlackRock. Just 2 weeks ago, the world's largest asset manager filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF, which would track Bitcoin's underlying market price. That move opened the door for other financial institutions like WisdomTree and Invesco to follow. So what do you think these developments mean for the Bitcoin network in terms of adoption and security? Do you believe this is the catalyst to make Bitcoin become a mainstream global financial asset?
What do you guys think in the chat, actually, with Fidelity actually getting into this Bitcoin ETF stuff, right, or applying to get one? What do you guys think? Do you guys think this is super bullish for Bitcoin? To be honest, I do, but it's up to you guys. I want to know what you do. I'm going to put a poll in the chat, actually.
I think it certainly could be. I mean, the Bitcoin space in general has had, a meme for the last several years of the institutions are coming. And, we've been denied of that many times in the past, but seeing names like BlackRock and Fidelity get involved is certainly a bastion of hope, if you will, that this is actually the time where crypto will crack through and we'll get to that new source of legitimacy that the space has so desperately been chasing for so long. There's been several different components of it this year. So one is the retail side, and there's been a lot of retail excitement in the Bitcoin space since the beginning of the year. We've seen new use cases like NFTs and also DeFi applications, again, for the first time kind of showing up on Bitcoin, which is particularly exciting. But then also on the institutional side, there's so much uncertainty in the macro right now that it's not a surprise that investors are looking for things with stable, predictable monetary policy like Bitcoin. So I do think we could be on the precipice of the real mainstream adoption the space has been looking for.
What do you think this sign of confidence in crypto from Wall Street means for the price of Bitcoin? Do you think this positive momentum will continue? What's your outlook for the price of the cryptocurrency?
God, she's like such a robot. You can see her reading the teleprompter. Anyways, real quick in the chat, where was it? Fidelity has a ton of assets in 401k and IRA. It's huge. Yes, I do agree with that. The SEC and the government try to cripple crypto exchanges so that they can push their CBDCs. Yeah, I agree too. That's I mean, again, at the end of the day, they want their cut. They're gonna get it however they can. So seeing these big companies though that are actually already backed by you know, they're known around the government, right? They pay their taxes, they do their thing, whatever they're supposed to do. Getting crypto into that sector of like life itself is only good. I would think anyways. I don't know. Entirely up to you guys. That's why I put the poll in the chat. I would like to know what you think.
Price in crypto is always a very difficult question. I think there's a lot of catalysts here that are very positive, but there's also, you know, so many unknowns right now when it comes to whether or not this will get approved, on what timeline, et cetera. So there's a lot of unknowns, you know, trying to project out, but I do think it is exciting, and this could be the catalyst for, you know, the real mainstream adoption and the Bitcoin run that people have been looking for a long time.
Taking a step back for a minute, you're a contributor at CoreDAO, a new blockchain powered by Bitcoin. What is the goal of this decentralized autonomous organization, and can it help with Bitcoin scalability at all?
That's a great question. So CoreDAO is trying to promote Bitcoin-powered blockchains like itself and others, you know, based on Satoshi plus consensus. And the idea is that there's essentially hundreds of billions in latent assets in Bitcoin today that are underutilized. Digital gold is, of course, an amazing use case and has brought Bitcoin, you know, where it is into the, you know, the mainstream spotlight for the last 15 years or so. But there's so much more that can be done with these assets, whether it's, you know, layers on top of Bitcoin like Stacks or CoreDAO itself. It's all about giving additional utility to these assets. And overall, that's what crypto is, you know, trying to achieve. And it's certainly going to be exciting to watch that develop. In terms of the DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization is a new type of structure that doesn't, you know, have the traditional formation of a company. But the idea is that together you can help, you know, use community governance to promulgate, you know, positive change.
I understand there's a component that tries to leverage qualities of proof of stake with proof of work. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
And how does that work?
Yeah, so in the crypto space, there's been, you know, kind of a religious war, if you will, between the different consensus mechanisms, you know, since proof of stake became popular and really became into the mainstream with, you know, the whole Ethereum 2 migration that, you know, took place over the last few years. And the CoreDAO approach is quite different. It's actually saying that, hey, there's a lot of benefits to both of these. And if you slam the best parts of both together, you actually wind up with a 1 + 1 = 3 scenario. And that's really exciting. Instead of having to deal with, you know, the trade-offs that have been traditionally viewed in launching an L1 blockchain, this approach was much more holistic and tried to take the best of all worlds. And that's quite a different approach. And with that kind of more inclusive design, you know, the community has been very strong, and it's been, you know, very optimistic signs thus far.
Now,
real quick, Carl Coate said, plus Fidelity has all the licenses they need from the SEC, which is another huge thing. Again, that's why it's so bullish. I would think so anyways, right? And then what was it? Alltrack made a good point. He said less FUD and more adoption in the news lately. The SEC's war on crypto may not be over, but they're running out of ammo. I totally agree, actually, because everything's been really positive lately, to be honest.
I understand that you have an engineering background and that you led money movements engineering at Coinbase for 3 years. So I have to ask you about the latest news involving that crypto exchange. This month, the SEC charged Coinbase for allegedly operating as an unregistered securities exchange broker and clearing agency. What was your reaction to that, and what do you think the implications are for the industry as a whole?
So it's really difficult to comment on regulatory policy in the United States or with the rest of the world. What I would say is Coinbase, like most other players, I would assume are really just looking for regulatory clarity and a path forward. And I think it's really exciting to see institutional players like BlackRock get involved, which are helping to legitimize the space. I don't think it's coincidental that Charles Schwab and others have, Citadel have put forth, applications for their own exchanges. And I think overall it's, very exciting. We'll get through the regulatory, hiccups in the US, just a time thing.
So on a general note, how does the heightened crackdown on crypto companies here in the US affect plans to build in this space?
So it's always challenging, again, to kind of, with this regulation by enforcement that we've seen from the US and from others. What I would say is that bear markets are for building. And I think that the real builders emerge in these bear markets and will continue to build amazing products and amazing companies in the crypto space. And I think it's as exciting of a time as ever with each new difficulty that crypto has faced over its 15-year history. There's always opportunities to build bigger and better things. And I think we're firmly in one of those periods right now.
What are you paying attention to right now?
Paying attention to so many things, it's difficult to give the brief synopsis. But what I would say is very excited about these, DeFi or further, utility enabling applications on top of Bitcoin. I think there's so much excitement in crypto overall, and for the last, several years, there's been a lack of excitement in the Bitcoin space. And I think we're seeing that shift. In Bitcoin being, the flag bearer of crypto in general, it's really exciting to see that excitement come back, because there's just so much opportunity here with 650 or so in latent, 650 billion in latent value on Bitcoin today. And that's something I've been watching closely. When we saw the NFT craze hit Bitcoin earlier this year, it was hundreds of millions in economic value. Some of these tokens have traded hundreds of millions. There really is a ton of activity, and different players like CoreDAO are trying to find the best path forward to enable these new use cases.
I want to discuss the blockchain trilemma, which refers to the belief that decentralized networks can only provide 2 of 3 benefits at the same time with respect to decentralization, security, and scalability. How can the trilemma be resolved? What do you think is the solution there? And is this something you're focused on right now?
That's true for everything.
So this is something that CoreDAO is focused on. And it's a difficult question to answer. And what we would say is that if you look at crypto over the last several years, there's been trade-offs made in relation to the trilemma. The preeminent one that's been traded off has been decentralization in favor of scalability, and we've seen that particularly since like the 2017 cycle. And that's not really a great trade-off when you think about the ethos of crypto, right? The ethos of crypto is helping to create these uncensorable, unseizable, hard money assets or use cases that are truly freedom-preserving technologies. And if you lose that decentralization, you get closer and closer towards looking like a database. And when CoreDAO was being designed, that was really important, and it's part of the Satoshi Plus consensus. That's why there was this, bringing together of these different consensus mechanisms to enable, a more optimal balance of this scalability, security, and decentralization. So it's super important, and watching that in the space, we'll continue to see how that evolves, but trading off decentralization is always a bad call.
All right. Awesome. Well, that was kind of boring, to be honest. I apologize. Anyways, all right, let's get into this over here. So this is a video from Altcoin Daily, the actual reason you need to buy Bitcoin. And this is Michael Saylor's interview, right, that they had with him. They actually cut it up into a 17-minute section. We'll listen to it. And yeah, I guess you guys can let me know what you think about this. It says you're buying 1 out of 21 million Bitcoin or dollar or whatever. The way he explained it is actually, it's very it's neat, right, to think about it this way. So I guess, well, I'll just let him do it because I can't do it. My brain's not working today. All right, let's get into it. See what they got to say.
1/millionth of all the money on the network. Would you want to own 1/21 millionth of all the money in the world in 10 years, 20 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, 10,000 years?
My question to you is about how specifically the average regular person can benefit from Bitcoin, because we just talked about institutions. Obviously, you're a successful public company with cash flow. You put it on your balance sheet. I understand that. I understand institutions. But the average, the normal person in the US making $60,000 a year, I like a good beer, saving up for a jet ski, got a wife, soon to be wife at home. How can I best benefit from Bitcoin?
That's a good question, actually.
Well, I think the best way to think about that question is to consider the alternatives people have. So you're a normal person and you want to save money for retirement or to give to your kids. So you put it in a savings account, you get 5% interest. The monetary inflation rate is 7 or 8 or 9%. You got a negative real yield of 3%. If you end up with a negative real yield of 3.5%, then over 100 years, $1 million saved is worth $30,000. Okay, and so for the average person, saving money in bonds with a 3.5% or 4% interest rate when the currency expands at 7 or 8, that's a losing proposition. You lose 97% of your wealth over the course of 3 generations. So clearly bonds don't work, right? And savings accounts don't work. So the next question is, do I just put all my excess money in the S&P index? Well, traditionally the money supply in the US is expanding at 7% and the S&P index is going up at 7%. So if you save $1 million over the course of your life and you put it all in the S&P index, then in 100 years, it'll be worth $1 million. So that's wealth preservation, but you're not doing any better than that. And that just kind of assumes that, that the S&P 500 is going to be relevant for 100 years and you can stick around the country, but it's like treading water. The next issue is, well, so what I put in real estate? If you buy real estate, you're an average person. Can you buy a building? Probably not. Can you buy a warehouse? Not easy. Maybe if you're a rich family, you buy warehouses, right? Rich families buy warehouses, city blocks, and buildings, but the middle-class person doesn't. So how do you buy $4,000 worth of a building? Can't. Okay. So the issue there is your property rights are inferior when you're buying shares of stock or a security versus the underlying property. If you own the building, you can mortgage the building, sell the building, upgrade the building, build 10 floors above the parking lot that the building has. You can develop the building. When you own a share in a REIT that owns the building, like you own 1/100th of the building, you don't have any of those rights. You can't do anything to the building. You're just along for the ride, getting 1/100th of whatever cash flow the general partner decides to distribute to you. And if they make stupid decisions, you're stuck with them.
You're screwed. Right?
You don't have any property rights. You're inferior in your economic rights. So owning shares of a REIT to get property for 100 years, not a great idea. And that leads us to the problem of securities. What is the problem of security? So you have some money, you invest it in Apple stock or Amazon or Facebook or Google or a REIT that owns a building. The dilutive problem with securities is there are risk factors. First of all, there's a management team. They're going to take 1% every year. They're not doing it for free. They're charging you to manage the company or the building, right? And if you're lucky, that's only 1%. You want to see that in action? Just go look at any ETF. The ETFs charge 90 basis points. If you want to put money into a Bitcoin, BITO or whatever, they'll charge you 90 basis points just as the management fee. So about 1%. What's the cost of 1% over the course of a lifetime? An infinite duration asset, you would basically multiply it by 20, 25. So it means that when I charge you 1% to manage your $1 million, I'm taking 20% of your money. Okay.
Jesus.
I'm taking 20% of all your wealth to charge you 1%. So that's only the first problem. It turns out that when you run a company, you also have you have the risk of labor, right? Your company may unionize. So you've got labor expenses and what happens to the equity value when the company unionizes? Well, the union just takes all the profits and the equity values of those companies start to trend towards zero. So labor is another risk. The third risk is your competitors, right? Your competitor may come up with a better product and you end up like Yahoo squeezed out or AOL squeezed out by Google. Well, then your stock's going to zero, right? I mean, Well, how many companies
true.
actually had a competitor? Xerox, Kodak, world's full of great companies. Where are they today? They end up getting squeezed by competition. The fourth issue is technology, right? You may just get obsolesced, right? Maybe you own natural gas fields or oil fields and someone creates nuclear power plants and they don't need your oil anymore. Or maybe you sell the world's greatest chemical cameras and people don't need cameras anymore. They have digital cameras, right? There's always that kind of risk from technology.
Things are always changing.
And then there's execution. Maybe you just don't ship the iPhone 47 to be that good, right? Maybe the iPhone 13 is good and the iPhone 15 is not good, right? And and the world's full of examples of that, like Firestone tires or something. And I ship a tire and the tire blows out. And now people stop buying my tire, or New Coke. Remember New Coke is a product launch that didn't work out well. So
New Coke?
when you're investing in a company, you're not just getting a pure investment. You're actually getting an investment in an asset, but you're getting hammered and diluted by force majeure, by bad weather. Yeah, you might get a war. You might get a tariff or a trade war. Like we just decided to put a tariff of 20% on all Chinese imports. Oops. If you had a factory in China, what happened there? And then maybe you get a real war where someone just impounds your ship or blows up your factory. That happens too. We have real wars all the time.
We just put a 20% tariff on stuff coming out of China. That's insane. Dude, tariffs are a lot, especially when you got to pay for it yourself. When it comes to like those KSOs and stuff, when they ship them to you, you got to pay like a tariff fee when you go to pick it up, or DHL won't deliver it or whatever. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
So what's the return on the S&P index? 7% a year. What's the monetary inflation rate? 7%. What's really happening? Well, all these companies, they're just barely holding their wealth. And so what would happen if I got rid of all those risks? What if I had what if I could buy a product that was never going to obsolesce, that's good for 1 million years? What if there was no management team and they work for free, right? What if the product is run by computer programs that don't charge a fee? What if there's no labor? What if it's a digital product, so there is no chance to block it via a trade war or destroy it via real war? What if it was an indestructible, immortal, incorruptible product? Well, when you buy a Bitcoin, you're buying 1/21 millionth of all the money on the network, or all the money in the world that's ever going to be on that network. Okay, so would you want to own 1/21 millionth of all the money in the world in 10 years, 20 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, 10,000 years?
And don't forget, there's probably 5 to 7 million lost from back in the day when people didn't take it seriously. So there's a lot less than 21 million available.
The product's not obsolescing. It's 1/21 millionth of everything. You see, the iPhone will obsolesce. One day you'll be using Apple Vision, or maybe they'll put a telepathic implant in your brain and you won't need phones and you won't need goggles. And
that's so
maybe
true.
you won't need televisions. Those things can obsolesce, but will you want 1/21 millionth of all the energy in the human race? Probably. Like the whole point of pure energy, right? Einstein said energy can neither be destroyed nor created. You can just transform it. Right? It's a pure idea, and it's an idea that doesn't have competition because of the Immaculate Conception. There's one Bitcoin, there's one network that was created by a nameless, anonymous figure, Satoshi, and Satoshi gifted 1 million coins to the universe, never ran an ICO, never kept anything from a pre-mine. And the network now is just owned by the people. So how do you actually compete with that? It's hard to see how you compete with a pure thing like that. So it's a digital monopoly with no labor risk, no war risk, no product risk, no execution risk. Now, there is execution risk that takes place. So you have to set up Bitcoin miners. And if you set up a Bitcoin miner in China and they shut down Bitcoin mining, the miners lose money. But you don't lose money as the holder, right? So it's like the perfect monetary franchise. All of the work to improve Bitcoin is done by the miners, by the Bitcoin device builders, by the Bitcoin banks, right? You know, BlockFi and Celsius can fail, but if you're holding Bitcoin in cold storage, you don't fail, right? The hardware company can fail, but you don't fail. And so if you study business, let's take McDonald's. McDonald's is a great business, but the reason they're a great business is so they don't really take that much risk. All the franchises take the risk. And so it's possible for every restaurant to lose money in the McDonald's chain, and the McDonald's Corporation still makes money because they've laid off that risk downstream. Other people risk their capital. So Bitcoin is kind of like this viral ultimate banking monetary franchise where banks will take risk, miners will take risk, individuals will take risk, companies will take risk. When the risks pay off, the Bitcoin holders benefit. And when the risks don't pay off, the people that took the risk pay the price, but Bitcoin just continues. It's very anti-fragile.
Real quick, I'm going to put another poll in the chat. So I just, I did put one in there. It said, BTC, how much should you hold in your opinion, right? I'm going to end this one. I want to put another one up and just see when you guys, like, how long do you think you're going to hold it? Are you guys going to hold your Bitcoin or crypto in general until you pass it down to your kids? Or are you guys planning on selling it to benefit from it while, you know, you're alive? Just want to know that for my own personal knowledge.
So coming back to your question, right? How's the middle class family benefit from this? Well, Bitcoin represents pure digital property, global property. It doesn't have the dilutive elements of a security. It doesn't have the dilutive elements of a currency or a credit instrument or debt instrument. It doesn't have the dilutive elements of property, right? You want to buy a second apartment, an Airbnb. Okay, well, fine. You know, someone may move into it and trash it. You may have a renter that doesn't pay the bill. You may get rent controlled by the city. You may actually have a tornado hit it and trash it. You'll probably get a property tax on it from the city, maybe from the county, maybe from the state, maybe from the government. If you ever have to leave, you can't take it with you. And at some point in 100 years, the thing is probably going to have to be completely rebuilt and renovated to be usable again. So property is not a great long-term store of value. Credit's not a great long-term store of value. They're not scalable. You can't buy $437 of an Airbnb apartment every 2 weeks. So Bitcoin offers you apex global property. Theoretically, you know, if the S&P index yields 7%, there's no reason why Bitcoin shouldn't appreciate about 14% in that environment. I think you get about a 7% real yield over the course of 100 years, whereas S&P index gives you 0% real yield. The best you can theoretically do with real estate property is maybe a 2% real yield if you're just really good at it. But there are just so many risks. You know, will your grandson or granddaughter be able to run the family property portfolio no matter what country they live in? And are you sure that any of 10,000 politicians aren't going to pass a law to destroy your property values sometime in the next 100 years? Think back from 1900 to the year 2000. And now imagine that you own a bar of gold in the bank in your city. What's the likelihood that you still have it 100 years later? Imagine you have a building in a major city in the world. Imagine you still have it 100 years later. Would you want to own a building in Russia, in Moscow, in Kiev, in Tokyo, in London, in Paris, in New York? Where would you want to own the building? Where would you want to own the bar of gold? It turns out that everywhere in the world, the gold got seized. Maybe you might have got by in Zurich, Switzerland, but everywhere else you lost all your money. Every bank failed. Every currency failed. You know, so your best bet is maybe you own property that they can't make more of. If you're lucky enough to own, if you owned a piece of property on the Gold Coast of Florida for 100 years, it went from $100,000 to $50 million.
Jesus.
Good. But the property taxes on it probably offset the capital gain from it if it was residential. So
Oh
the
my
only way
gosh.
you could have actually made money owning property is if you own commercial real estate and you generated a rent on it in excess of the taxes and the insurance and the depreciation and the maintenance.
You know, he has some long-winded answers, but everything he says is pretty true. It's kind of crazy to think about that. The amount of property taxes he would pay or you would pay on a piece of property like that is absolutely absurd. And, you know, I'm thinking about it too as he's talking, like guys like Michael Saylor or just like companies, you know, that he's involved in investing into Bitcoin, like this insane amount. What do you think their take is on that whole ledger thing? Like, where do they keep their crypto? That's really one thing that I'm just kind of sitting there contemplating. Like, you know, all these wallet hacks and stuff. Big companies like that, where do they keep their stuff? I'd like to know. If you guys know, let me know in the chat.
It's not easy to do that everywhere in the world. So Bitcoin represents property rights or the right to purchase perfect property that is maintainable, right?
They have it on their own nodes. That's really interesting, actually, Chadwick's. We'll talk about that in VIP a little bit because I'm really curious about that.
Low cost to maintain. It's indestructible. You know, the rain doesn't melt it. Tornadoes don't destroy it. And it's scalable. You can buy it with your weekly paycheck. And if it's liquid, you can sell it. Try selling it 1/100th of a building. Not so easy. You want to mortgage the building? Well, you can, a building in Kansas City, you could mortgage to a bank that deals in Kansas City real estate. But if you're Turkish and you have a building in Istanbul, there's only just a small number of banks in the world that will give you a mortgage on that. The mortgage will be in lira. The lira is losing 30 to 40% of its value a year.
Jeez.
You got a problem. So
30 to
Bitcoin represents
40%.
global digital property. You can take it anywhere on earth. You can hold it for 100 years. In theory, you can hold it for 1,000 years. So you can take a very long view. And how many banks will want your Bitcoin? Well, you see what's going on right now is there's a French bank that wants to custody Bitcoin. There's a German bank that wants to custody Bitcoin. There's a Singapore bank that wants to custody Bitcoin. The banks in the UAE are getting into the business. The banks in Spain are getting into the business. The
There's a
banks in the
reason.
US are getting into the business. Right. And on the other hand, none of those banks want to give you a mortgage on your house in Arkansas. Only a local bank in Arkansas is going to get into that. Right. So Bitcoin represents a pure economic asset. It doesn't have the liabilities that come with securities and other forms of property and other commodities. And it's simple. And that's why it appeals to the middle class. I don't have a better solution for you if you're a working person on a salary and you want to take control of your own economic destiny.
Be sure to click.
Crazy. Shout out to Altcoin Daily for that. That was a really good interview, actually. I mean, I like Michael Saylor. I have nothing against him. I don't know what you guys think, but he's a smart guy. He is a smart guy, and the way he puts it, man, 21 billionth of all the money in the world, right? If you look at it that way, it's kind of neat, you know, thinking of it like that, because there's only so much to go around. And how many people are in the world? There's like a crazy, like 20 something billion, right? Or 30 billion. Let me see. People in the world. Let's see. How many people in the world? World population 8 billion people. I was wrong. 8 billion. So 8 billion people. And there's only 21 million Bitcoin. If there is still 21 million Bitcoin. Do the math. People can't own at least one. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's see. Kaiser, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Good morning. Retro Mike, what's up? That requirement came from our banking clients. What requirement? So, oh, wait, I missed your first thing. He said they use multi-sig in their own vault. At least that's how my current and previous companies do it. Requires at least 3 different people from different departments to unlock the vault. Interesting. That sounds like the 3 different companies sharding BS that Ledger was trying to pull. Interesting. Weird. So how much more secure are nodes versus like a wallet? I am so uneducated on nodes. It's not even funny. So I would like to know that actually. If does anybody like have actual, I guess, have you guys used nodes in a sense where it's like a Bitcoin node, not like Flux stuff? Is it more secure? And if you guys do, or if anybody would like to come on and talk about it sometime, that'd be amazing. I would love to know more about it. Let's see. Node is 100% your responsibility. Yeah, but how, see, my thing is like, how is it more secure? I guess I need to look into it more. A node is a wallet. Yeah, but is it a wallet that's can be hacked? Like I'm really just trying to figure out, is it safer to go that route? Do you need to have X amount to be able to run a node on Bitcoin or whatever? Let me know, because I really have no idea. I don't look into nodes, to be honest, like that. I don't even run Flux nodes anymore because they're a pain in the friggin' ass, to be honest. All right, let's see. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. Again, it's Friday. Happy payday to everybody. We're going to be getting out of here in a few minutes. But, dude, look at this market, man. It's crazy. Looks so good right now. Almost, we just dropped under 31, but look at LTC, 101 bucks. Crazy. Deep green, 19% up today. That's nuts. That is nuts. Let me see. What's the biggest earner in 24 hours? LTC is third. eCash. I don't know what the hell eCash is. Look at this. eCash. Does anybody know? Anybody heard of this? Bitcoin Cash ABC has rebranded to eCash XEC and it has redenominated to 1/1,000,000th ratio. That's so weird. Never ever heard of this. I never even heard of BCHA. Have you guys? What the hell is that? What is happening? I hold all my Caspa on my Caspa node. Bro, sell that shit. What are you doing? Take profits, man. Take profits. Not financial advice, but God, definitely take profits. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not if I had a Caspa miner, like if that KSO was mine, I'd be selling it all the time, to be honest. I'd keep some of it, but I'd sell most of it. Let's see. Is a PNP type guy. Listen, Dan R. Let's see. What else? I have ran BTC Core node before using Umbrel. He said I run it out of my Proxmox hypervisor. Yeah, that's another thing I need to get into, man. All those friggin' virtual machine shit. I gotta do that. I have to set up my my server that Mr. Geek of All Trades gave me. Again, shout out to Geek of All Trades for giving me that. Yeah, it's awesome, but I have no idea what I'm doing with it. And I do not want to just put Windows on it and call it a day. Like, I actually want to use it to, I don't know, be like a server properly, right? Like, I want it to be able to do proof of useful work, but I also want it to do other shit, right? But I don't know anything about Proxmox. Actually, Geek of All Trades put out a video today. Oh, let me see. He puts a video almost every day. Let's see. Geek of All Trades. He put out a Proxmox video, I think. Right here. Installing the Proxmox 8. This one right here. The not so hard way on my Ryzen server. You should put that in quotations, right? The air quotes. But dude, I gotta watch this. I like the thumbnail too. Good job. I want to see how he did this. I don't understand anything about, again, VMs and all that shit. So I gotta look into that stuff. But Bitcoin nodes really do they really do kind of make me want to understand if that's a more secure way to do it, then I'd like to do that versus using like a ledger and stuff, you know. That's why ledger is so attractive to people, said Chad Wicks. Sorry, let me read this. It always boils down to the network security. That's why my company can afford to pay me so much. Retro Mike. But you're still too cheap to become a member, so just saying. I was even gonna give it to you for free. Well, we tried. Actually, Joker might have tried like 5 times and you didn't get it at all. Anyways, all right, let's see. I'm just giving him shit. Let's see. Retro Mike's brain smartness, Old Vortex brain smartness. Dude, Retro Mike is a freaking genius. He's a closet genius. He's like that little you never see like Young Sheldon, that show? That's him. That's him 100%. He's just super smart. Super smart. Think of a node as a main water shutoff, the water supply being the chain. Yeah, that's a good way to think of it. Good way to think of it. And the faucet in the house is being the wallets that connect separately through the distribution to the main shutoff, which is the node. Okay. All right. I wonder why you can't choose who you gift to on YouTube. It's so outdated. Yeah, DJ. I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. I think Retro Mike has it off, though. Like, literally, at one point, there was everybody in the chat was a member except for Retro Mike. UK Miners Club took me 2 hours to learn Proxmox. I only used one YouTube video to learn the HDD pass-through, but that's it. Well, send me that video, UK Miners Club. Please. Send it, because I need to watch it. I want to watch Geek of All Trades, though. I'm going to do that today. I got to get it set up. Actually, do you guys want to laugh? I kind of feel bad, though. I don't even want to show you, but I kind of do at the same time because it's a riot. DJ, you ready for it? Fully Electric, you ready for it? So, you guys see the new the X16Q yet? This one right here? Beautiful. Hold on. I'm going to pause it right here. This is the X16Q.
Plug it in.
Coming out.
Switch it on. Just like screw in the Wi-Fi or antenna.
This is
then
sweet.
the second part is
Look how nice this is, though. Not even a scratch on it.
You are sorry. Plug it in.
You feel so bad, but at the same time, I had to see it. I had to watch it. It was so funny, dude. I was laughing so hard because everything was so serious until that happened. It was awful. It feels so bad. Wanna watch it again? Ready?
Switch it on. Just like screw in the Wi-Fi or
I'll still
antenna.
take it. I don't care. Send it.
Then
It's
the
fine.
second part is
Totally fine.
You are sorry.
Just like, sorry, please don't beat me. No, you know what, though? I'm laughing at this and something terrible is going to happen, like, to me on stream one day now because of that. God, karma. Karma's a bitch. Oh, sorry. It just made me laugh. I had to. All right, let's see. What else we got? How come Pocket doesn't dress like that? Well, because you perverts. That's why, all right? Jeez. Dan R. Let's see. It just fell off. It just fell to the chair. No big deal. Yeah, no, it did. Honestly, it didn't even fall hard. It just like landed. it just fell into the chair and like whatever. It was fine. It just sounded funny because it like hit the table and like shook everything on the stage. It was so funny. Oh my god, I was literally crying, laughing so hard last night. Brutal. All right, let's see. Where's Render at? Actually, Render's up 4% today. I kind of want to invest back into this. $2.08 still. Man, I sold it at $1.55 because I had to. This is what do you guys think about this? Actually, you know what? I kind of want your honest opinions on Dynex too. What do you guys think about Dynex? There's I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that could go well for Dynex if they can go ahead and do the be the whole like supercomputer that they're trying to be. I'm really excited to see where it goes, because in the next I think in the next couple weeks is going to be some like big improvements, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know where Man Yeti is, but I know he's going to be messing with the testing of some stuff, which is kind of cool. So we'll be bringing that to you guys shortly. Let's see. That's the test for UPS. USPS, you mean? Oh, that's hysterical. Yeah, they're doing the crash test just in case the shipping and receiving companies decide to kick the thing around the back of the truck. Chadwick's, it's a mess for show. He says, Patrick Murphy. What's up, buddy? Oh my god. Let me open up Discord quick. I don't know if you guys saw yesterday, I picked up 33 grid seed miners from this guy on Facebook Marketplace. I don't have a Facebook, but I had my buddy message him and he met me in a Target parking lot and we did a mining deal. I'm just kidding. I gave him it was $300 for 33 grid seed miners. Let me see if I can get the picture. Where is it? Hold on. I put it in VIP. So much crap. Oh, and by the way, Panda actually, hold on. Oh, yeah, of course it is. This is the if you guys haven't seen the Octominer, I'm just gonna open all these real quick. Hold on. So you guys can see everything. The Octominer server case, proof of useful work server case. Panda actually has a video that probably just dropped, if you guys haven't seen it yet. All right, let me grab. Man, I've been doing so much shit the last like 2 days. 1 second. Let me show you all of these grid seed miners. Trying to pull these up. Bear with me. There it is. God, so many pictures. All right. So I got this 33, right? This guy gave me all the 10 port USB hubs right here. And these actually have like connections. I think they connect to each other on the backside. They got like a, you know, that like, it's like a kind of like a square with like 2 clipped corners. The kind of ones that like go into the back, like side of a printer. I don't know what that port is called. It's this one right here, actually. You see this? This freaking, whatever this is. I don't know, whatever this cable is. This goes from USB hub to USB hub. So they all connect together, I think. And yeah, but anyways, I got 33 of these grid seed miners for under 10 bucks each, with power supplies, all the cables, everything, like literally everything. But yeah, these are the hubs. I don't know if these are any good. I have no idea. I was like 300 bucks, totally worth it. Under 10 bucks a piece. And then I've been ripping apart my basement. I moved my grow tent. I ripped it all apart, guys. It's a goddamn mess. It's a mess right now. I'm putting all my printers in here. I'm gonna have to finish it up today. But anyways, this is the proof of useful work pictures from Octominer server case. This is Panda sent this to us. Dude, this thing's got 4 power supplies. Insane. Absolutely insane. I love how the wires actually go around though. Probably not the smartest thing that's in front of the fan, but whatever. This is the E10 X99-2 server case. Crazy though. Shout out to Panda for that, by the way. So guys, go watch that video. All right, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat, because I haven't had it up this whole time. All right, dude, RPM's getting all the good toys. Well, I mean, he's, you know what I mean, I'd give it to Panda too. I'd give it to him too, just because like he's the biggest crypto miner in my opinion. Like, not, I wouldn't say the biggest, you know, this BBT, this Voss coin, but like Panda is the most genuine person I've met personally. He's just, you know what I mean? Nothing against either of the other guys, just in general. Panda's like, he gives honest reviews, and he's always totally biased on the entire situation. Whatever's sent to him, if it's a piece of shit, he's gonna tell you it's a piece of shit. If it's not, then he's gonna tell you the truth, like exactly what it is. And if you want to buy it, feel free to buy it. So a lot of people value his opinion. Yes, he is, Alvidus. Yes, he is. Zapire RPM is awesome and a troll at the same time. Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right, let's see. RPM does reviews well too. Yes, he does. He absolutely does. Financial failure, I totally agree. RPM doesn't chill as much as the others too. Yeah, so dude, so like sometimes I get when people shill stuff because you have to, like I get it. Not that you have to, but like you gotta pay the bills, right? If this is your full-time job, you're like, you gotta take advertisements and stuff. It's the way you do it though. It's the way you shill it. If you're shilling it and you're like very blatant about just kind of taking people's money, it's kind of a dick move, right? I don't want to take sponsors like that, and I'm sure a lot of people don't either. And that's, I mean, Panda doesn't allow people to affect the way he thinks about a product or whatever when he's like, you know, advertising for them. So it's kind of neat. All right, guys, unfortunately I have to get out of here. USB, old USB. Yeah, sustainable crypto. Sorry, I was just reading back real quick. So the USBs from this right here, these hubs, this is what you're talking about, the USB 2.0. I mean, these things are so old they can still run on these. There's no reason you can't. The USB 3.0 is, you only really need that for like, you know, the newer shit. I mean, these machines are literally like 10 years old. So they'll still run, but yeah, I mean, yeah, they're definitely old and outdated. They're not anything to write home about. But again, 300 bucks, man, I couldn't pass it up. Like I totally sell all these for at least 10-20 bucks a pop, at least, if I wanted to flip them. You know, it would just take some time. But in the community, someone would want them, you know. Anyways, all right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Yes, hopefully we'll do a couple stream. I have to go talk to the wife, actually, see if she's getting out of work on time today. So If that is the case, we will do it. If not, it'll probably be just me later on, but either way, we'll try to do a afternoon stream. All right, guys, have a good day. Happy Friday. Enjoy your payday, and I'll catch you guys later on this afternoon. Peace out. I shill phones and people buy phones, says Retro Mike. See you later, buddy. Have a good day.